Well, Alonso did not get off to a quick start. It looked like he was late to react to the lights. Michael Schumacher's dropped down the field out of all this. He's not done very well. Dropped down 2 places, I believe, already. Oh, Jenson Button's engine went in the race. Yeah. No idea what went on the car then, but clean is out. I think Michael Schumacher is out of the race. Last time I saw, he was right with Fisichella, but he's out. Whoa! Well, I've lost all my words. Albers, who was pulling away from Yamamoto, has had an engine failure. So, Fisichella's charging his way through the field. We might see a Renault 1-2. Alonso isn't quite that close. He might not be able to make the move this lap. No, he has. So Alonso's got past Yamamoto and is now leading the Hungarian Grand Prix. Whoa, Nico Rosberg! I just saw his car dump some oil, and now look. And now Heifeld's car's blown up on him. And Barrichello is all over the back of Fisichella. Has he done it? I think he has. Fisichello's up into 3rd place.
There it is. Alonso crosses the line in 1st place and earns a well-deserved 10 points.
The lack of overtaking opportunities has really helped him out here. Possibly the rain has as well, as Yamamoto is going to take 2nd place ahead of Fisichella in 3rd.
We're coming to you live from Istanbul Park for this year's Turkish Grand Prix. Istanbul Park is situated in the Asian hills on the outskirts of the capital. Though fairly new to the Formula 1 calendar, with the first Grand Prix stage here in 2005, the circuit has already achieved some notoriety. Spa has its Eau Rouge. Istanbul has Turn 8, considered by some to be the toughest turn in Formula 1. It's one of those corners where you really need to commit yourself, but overcommit and it's likely you'll come a cropper. Pretty much perfect weather conditions for racing here today, so we should see some very competitive lap times during this race.
Right, so here we are for the 2006 Turkish Grand Prix in this reverse grid race series, and Turkey, probably my 3rd favourite track on this year's, for the 2006 calendar. Absolutely adore the Turkish track, Istanbul Park, absolutely love it. And Bernie Ecclestone also likes it. This is the interesting thing. Bernie Ecclestone, in around 2006, around that time, he said that he loved Turkey. He said it was one of his favourite tracks, and he said it was critical that that it stayed on the calendar until 2021. And that kind of hasn't happened. So, good old Bernie. I do like Bernie Ecclestone. I know I like him and no one else does, but as much as I like him, he's lying. He's a little funny guy, because in retrospect, 2021, that deal with Istanbul Park didn't really happen as much as he says it did. So, good old Bernie. But anyway, I approve of this Grand Prix, so does Bernie, even if it is no longer on the calendar in real life. Then we got, right, moving on to the actual grid, Christian Albers in 1st. Now, Albers, he was 16th in qualifying in real life. He was quicker than David Coulthard. Coulthard got knocked out in Q1. No idea why. But then Albers lost 10 places from an engine change. So, Albers, unlucky in real life, but in this reverse grid race, he might do alright. Sato apparently was slower than Yamamoto in qualifying, so Sato could benefit from this. We got Yamamoto 3rd, Montero, Liuzzi speed. There's Coulthard, who was extremely slow, knocked out in Q1. And again, it's unlucky in real life, but now in this reverse grid race series, Coulthard could do alright. Then the final interesting one really is Ralf Schumacher. Now Ralf Schumacher, obviously the first 2 races of this year he was in a very good position. Bahrain, he should have got 2nd place, and then his car went, and then in Malaysia he should have got a podium place, and then his car went again. Now Ralf Schumacher, he's scored the least amount of points out of any driver who's done all the races this year. He's scored the least amount of points. Even Yamamoto scored more points than Ralf Schumacher has, and Yamamoto's only done a race, I think. But yeah, Ralf Schumacher could benefit from this reverse grid race format. He qualified in 5th place. I think that's part of the issue. Ralf Schumacher was quite a good qualifier, but he qualified in 5th and then got a 10-place engine change penalty, put him down to 15th. So really, I think what we're seeing here is a 3-horse race for the win, really. If Albers can pull out a massive gap, he could win this race, as long as his engine doesn't go like we saw in Hungary. And then we got Coulthard and Ralf Schumacher. They'll be scrapping it out. They're certainly the guys to watch out for. I reckon they could do well this race, but you got Rosberg, Barrichello, Trulli, Della Rosa right up behind. Really, who knows? I mean, we got Massa, who took pole position in real life, his first ever pole position. It also became his first ever Grand Prix win. We'll have to see whether that happens. Now, it's unlikely, but anyway, let's just head on to the Turkish Grand Prix.
You know the drill by now. Here we go. Go!
Right, so watching David Coulthard in 7th place, he's got his sister teammates up in front of him. Is he going to keep 7th place? What about Ralf Schumacher? It looks like Ralf Schumacher might have been passed by Rosberg. No, he hasn't. We still got Ralf Schumacher 8th, Coulthard 7th, Speed 6th, Liuzzi 5th, Montero 4th, Yamamoto 3rd, Sato 2nd, Albers already pulling out from Sato.
Well, that incident was bad enough to warrant his retirement today. Villeneuve was caught up in that as well. Incredibly, there doesn't look to be any damage.
Right, okay, so while James Allen was talking, we've seen Barrichello get past Coulthard. He's also got past Ralf Schumacher. Barrichello is on fire right now. Well done, Barrichello. Whose wheel was that? Don't tell me that was Ralf Schumacher's wheel. Ralf Schumacher, the unluckiest guy this series. Bahrain, Malaysia and now Turkey. Been in a good position and screwed over. We'll have to look at that. Fisichella's wounded. Raikkonen is out. I believe he came into a collision with Kubica. Obviously, James Allen said Villeneuve, but now that's Kubica. We've still got Coulthard 8th, Barrichello 7th, and Rosberg 9th. Let's have a look on what on earth happened at the start. Right, so here we are with Raikkonen. Unfortunately, the best onboard shot you can get in this game is this. Now, it's the left side, the side that's obstructed, is the side of his car that gets hit. So I think Raikkonen just made a dive-bombing move that didn't really work. So we're looking behind on Kubica, see if we can get a better angle on what Raikkonen did to Kubica. So I think Raikkonen just made a dive-bombing move. You could argue though that Kubica did turn in on Raikkonen. He saw Raikkonen was making a move, a banzai move, yes, but he did turn in on Raikkonen. So actually, I would have to say that Kubica, with his lack of Formula 1 experience, maybe should have checked his mirrors. Right, so I had a look. It wasn't Schumacher who went into the back of Fisichella. It was actually Massa, because looking at it, you'd assume it was Schumacher who went to the back of Fisichella. Look, there's Schumacher right behind Fisichella. It's actually Massa who goes into the back of Fisichella. So what does Massa do? Yeah, that was clumsy for Massa. Completely clumsy. And, well, it screwed over Fisichella's race, which from Ferrari's POV is pretty good. Right, okay, so we're on board with Ralf Schumacher now. Which Toro Rosso does he go into the back of? I really can't work out. Okay, the one directly in front of him is Speed. Yeah, there's Barrichello shoving his way past. I think he goes into the back of Scott Speed, does he? Oh, Barrichello! No, he goes into the back of Barrichello. And Ralf Schumacher, I know he built up a reputation for crashing in real life, but this is actually by no means his first crash in this series as well. Whoa, 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 whoa!
It's Barrichello! He's retiring from the race, and that's a huge disappointment for him. I think Liuzzi was the other driver involved. He seems to have got away with no damage though. Very lucky indeed.
I wasn't expecting anything to happen. That was a massive crash from Barrichello. I think he lost the rear end, because he was squirming under brakes, I think. Well, look, there's Fisichella still crawling around, but what on earth happened there? And now Della Rosa's in the last points place, but what on earth is going on? I mean, Della Rosa's just got past Coulthard. What? What on earth is going on? So we got Speed in 8th, Coulthard 7th, Della Rosa 6th, Liuzzi 5th, Montero 4th, Yamamoto third, Sato second, and Alba's pulling out from first. But let's have a look at Barrichello's crash. I was not expecting that to happen. Unfortunately, we can't actually view that crash again. The replay doesn't go back far enough. This is where the replay starts. That's gutting, but if you watch back that clip with Barrichello, I think you'll be able to see what happened.
There's been an incident at turn 1. It's Barrichello! He's retiring from the race, and that's a huge disappointment for him. I think Liuzzi was the other driver involved. He seems to have got away with...
Okay, well look at what's happened here. Jenson Button out of nowhere's in 8th place. Don't know where Button's come from. Out of absolutely nowhere. Now don't tell me Button goes into the back of someone. Please don't. I don't want to sound like... Jesus, Rosberg. Lunging move, but he's still behind Trulli. There's chaos happening at Turkey. I mean, Barrichello, I'm going to have to look at that crash after I finish recording this race. I'm going to have a look at that. Not another engine failure for Sato. How many has he had? He's had loads this year. He's had about almost as many as Liuzzi, and now look, Sato out, and he was in 2nd place. What can I say? I'm lost for words. Albers is in 1st. We got Yamamoto now in 2nd. No one's near Yamamoto actually. Montero 3rd, Liuzzi 4th. Della Rosa in 5th. Coulthard 6th. Button 7th. And now Speed is holding the last points in 8th with Rosberg and Trulli just up behind.
Coulthard. 7th is Button. And in 8th is Speed.
Right, hang on. We got 2 Cosworth cars side by side. And that is Rosberg getting past Scott Speed there. So well done, Rosberg. That was a good overtake. They were banging wheels, but still Rosberg made the move stick. And it was a relatively clean move. Actually, we got Coulthard all over the back of Liuzzi. Is he going to do it? No, I mean, Button, I don't know what he's doing back there, lunging around all over the place. But surely Della Rosa's going to move into a podium place. And Della Rosa hasn't done many Formula 1 races this season anyway. He's only done a few. He's only been in since France. But Della Rosa, can he get into a podium place? Can he challenge for the win? Well, not if he sticks behind Montero, he won't. And Button's moved up into 5th place, has he? I think he's got past the Toro Rosso. There's just so many guys. There's a cluster of cars right now. What about Rosberg? No, but Rosberg's all over the back of Coulthard. And now we got Renaults, Ferraris. Honestly, all the cars, bar the top 2, are in one massive lump. No wonder we're seeing so many crashes. Whoa, Montoya's made a move on Montero. Fantastic move from Montoya. And before the treacherous turn 8, he's got past Montero. That was a great move from him there. I wasn't even expecting it. But surely Button's going to get past very soon as well. Right, okay, so heading up to the 3rd sector, and Della Rosa has already caught up to the back of Yamamoto. 2 new drivers in Formula 1. These guys haven't done many races this season, but they're battling it out, and well, their inexperience hasn't caused a crash, thankfully. Well, I say Della Rosa, he's not exactly inexperienced, is he? He's done a few races in his time. Button is side by side with Montero. Button's car jumping around all over the place. I don't think that would have done the suspension much good, and now they've just clipped each other again. But Button has got past Montero, and I think both guys have got away incident-free. Coulthard has also got past Rosberg and Liuzzi, so Coulthard made a few good moves there out of nowhere. Okay, well, Alonso's moved up into 8th, so Alonso's now in the points places. Right now we got a Renault in the top 8. We're bound to see tons of overtakes made. Della Rosa! Della Rosa has got past Yamamoto. There you go. So Della Rosa, with half the race to go, is in 2nd. All he's got to do is catch up and pass Albers. Albers, whose race win was cruelly taken away from him in Hungary, might not get that done. Well, it might not happen to him now. Alonso got past Rosberg. There's tons of overtakes, but as I said, all the cars are in one cluster. It's impossible to track every single overtake. Right, okay, whoa, look at this cluster of cars. We got Montero leading it. Is Coulthard going to get past? What about Alonso? Alonso, the current championship leader, he's proving why he's the championship leader. He's got past Coulthard, and now is he going to get past Montero? No, not quite now.
He's just raced Alonso 6th.
Yamamoto, God, Yamamoto, he's defending very hard from Button. Well, actually, I say defending very hard. That didn't last very long as Button made an easy move on Yamamoto there, so Button is now in 3rd place. Okay, hang on, right, Albers is now in 2nd. De La Rosa's leading the race. We missed that overtake. That is an overtake for the lead. We'll have a look at that in just a few seconds. I think Alonso has got past Montero, though. Yes, he has. Alonso's in 5th place. He's in clean air, so he's going to be setting fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap. Right, so coming down the back straight, and I think it's just the Mercedes engine in that McLaren allowed De La Rosa to easily breeze past Albers, and Albers, well, I mean, he's had 2 first places taken from him, although at least this time he's still in 2nd place. Montoya round the outside, easy move from him, and that's how De La Rosa, if I keep on saying Montoya, I mean De La Rosa, but that's how De La Rosa got to lead the race. Is Coulthard going to get past Montero this time? With a side-by-side, Montero defending as well as he has done all series, which has been exceptional, but Montero cannot defend that. Montero 7th, Rosberg still in 8th, but crucially Coulthard is up into 6th.
The race is drawing to a close, but Button seems deep.
We're okay, so we got Montagny. He's just been passed by, not Montagny, Yamamoto. These driver changes are extremely confusing. Yamamoto has got... He's been overtaken by Alonso. Right, that's the point. Alonso's in 4th. He got past Yamamoto. Unsurprising, really. It was inevitable, but Alonso 4th, Yamamoto 5th. We got Button all over the back of Albers. And I thought it wasn't going to be especially easy to overtake around this track. I thought this was going to favour the small teams. Well, apart from Albers, really, it kind of hasn't. And Button, is he going to get up into 2nd place? No, Albers is defending it very well, but... 2 laps. Can Albers hold on for 2 more laps?
Front runner Montoya has begun his final lap of the race.
Okay, right, okay, cheers Martin there. We got Rosberg, he got past Montero, and so has Michael Schumacher.
He's managed to extend his lead by another...
Right, okay, so we still got Button all over the back of Albers. I don't think he's going to make the move, but De La Rosa's coming up, and he's only done a few races in that McLaren. But boy, De La Rosa hasn't done many miles in that McLaren, but he's completely outshone Raikkonen, who's done way more distance in the McLaren, and De La Rosa's going to win the Turkish Grand Prix.
That's it, Montoya takes 1st place.
There's De La Rosa there, Martin. De La Rosa, Martin. Albers is going to take 2nd place. Massive congrats to Albers to hold off from Jenson Button in 3rd. And Alonso, who isn't too far behind, in 4th. We got Yamamoto. He's done alright out of this race, especially since Sato retired with an engine failure. He's in 5th. Michael Schumacher got past Rosberg there, so Schumacher's in 6th. Rosberg 7th. Montero just about able to hold on for a point in 8th. Ahead of absolutely everyone else. Trulli, Massa, Klein, Liuzzi, Speed, Kubica rather, Heifeld and Fisichella, who must be a lap down. That must mean someone must have retired recently. Right, what a fantastic Turkish Grand Prix. And I'm recording this post-race commentary after I've seen all the results, and Fisichella, who's in 17th, finished 16th because Coulthard retired. It must have been with some car reliability issue once again, but Coulthard, he was right in the bottom end of the points. He was in 6th, wasn't he, actually? Yeah, he was in clean air, and then, yeah, his car must have just gone. That is gutting for Coulthard, but still. The main story is De La Rosa, who hasn't been with McLaren long, but won this race, dominant fashion, and he was by no means one of the more likely guys to win. I don't know where he started, but away down the field. But he was able to take the race win. So massive congrats to De La Rosa there. Albers to take 2nd, which is an exceptional result, especially as he's just ahead of Jenson Button. Right, so moving on to the Drivers' Championship, and Fernando Alonso getting 4th place this race. He's been able to extend his Drivers' Championship lead. He's now 10 points out of Heidfeld and over a race win away from people such as Fisichella, Trulli, Coulthard, Rosberg, Button. Alonso, at the minute, is looking very strong for the Drivers' Championship, and the next race at Monza is certainly going to play to his strengths as well. And down the lower end of the Drivers' Championship, Ralf Schumacher on 6 points. He's been on 6 points for a while. I don't even know when he scored those points, but I do feel sorry for him. There's been a few races, USA I remember, he finished in 9th, so he's cruelly missed out on a few points just. And then obviously Bahrain and Malaysia right back at the start, he suffered car failures. And this race, you do have to say it was his fault that he retired. Moving on to the Constructors' Championship, and surely there can't be any doubt that Renault are going to win the Constructors. They're way ahead of everyone else, and when you look at some of the races we got coming up, Monza and Shanghai are the two that spring to mind, with the massive straights is going to play to Renault's advantage. But there's still a massive battle going on. Honda overtook Williams, Ferrari overtook Toyota, Midland overtook Ferrari, Toyota and Red Bull, and McLaren moved out of last, so Toro Rosso are now back in last. And there's actually quite a big battle between Toro Rosso and McLaren for second to last. But anyway guys, I'll see you for the next episode at Monza. Ferrari's home race, and actually Ferrari can do well at Monza. Unfortunately, it's going to play to Ferrari's strengths, it's also going to play to Renault's strengths. So I do honestly think that Monza accidentally is going to cause Renault's lead in the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship to just extend, and Schumacher and Massa are going to be left in the dust. But anyway, we'll have to see how that goes next time out. So I'll see you then.